Welcome to r/entitled people, where we share stories from your lives about people who think the rules don't apply to them, and they should get what they want. Thank you, friends, for subscribing to the channel, and for so many likes. And today we have 3 great stories, so subscribe, hit the like button, and let's begin. The first story. A lonely regular tests the limits of our customer service, facing unexpected consequences. The second story. How one worker dedication led to the downfall of a negligent manager. The third story. When a joke on stage leads to an unwelcome demand and a confrontation with doctors. The first story is, I'm sorry you're lonely, but my kids shouldn't suffer for it. It's Christmas Eve and I work at a small family-owned Italian restaurant in a small city. We close at 4:30 to allow everyone time to be home with their families because most of us have kids and the boss man is good about stuff like that. Cue the lonely, odd regular. She's not a mean lady, but she's certainly different. I've had to ask her to put her shoes back on several times. She's regularly told me about her bowel movements, that kind of regular. She comes in around 3. Now I know she always stays a while, but I don't think anything of it, as we don't close for another hour and a half. At 4, I drop off her check and start my cleanup as she and one other table are left, and I'm not seating anymore. 4:15, second table leaves, wishes me a Merry Christmas, and leaves me a banging tip, so I'm in great spirits. 4:30, I'm already pretty much done with my cleaning. Lady is done with her food, and I have all her dishes but her teacup. I tell the back it's no biggie if they bounce, there's only one dish. Now it's only me, the closing manager, and my husband who happen to be the GM. I check on her and drop a subtle, man can't wait to get home. It's been crazy busy, I'm dead on my feet. She laughs and excuses herself to the bathroom. 4:45, she's still in there. I'm getting a little stir crazy, but it's not bad yet. Me and the guys are just BSing in the back. 4:50, she emerges. Instead of getting ready to leave, she settles in and starts sipping her tea and reading her book. Now I'm getting mad. I go to her table and check the bill, nothing. I gently remind her we closed 20 minutes ago, and she scoffs at me as if I'm rushing her. 5 o'clock. Hubby is peeved at this point and shuts off the music and dims the lights. I go to her table again and she's visibly angry. Here's how the conversation went. M equals me, H equals hubby, K equals Karen. K, excuse me, I wasn't ready to leave yet. I don't understand why you guys are closing up. Me, I'm sorry ma'am, but you've been here for 2 hours. You finished eating over an hour ago, and we've been closed for half an hour. Most of our staff is gone and the rest would like to get home to our families. I apologize, but we're officially closed and would appreciate it if you settled your tab. K, this is your job. You're required to stay open until I'm ready to leave. I don't care about your stupid family and your plans. What about people like me who don't have anywhere to go? Me, I'm sorry about that. There are other places open though if you'd like. K, I want to stay here. She's irate now. My husband hears the screaming and rounds the corner, placing himself in between me and the woman who's now screaming and stomping her foot like a petulant child. H, pay your bill and leave now. K, who the hell do you think you are? I'm the D customer and I can stay as long as I like. H, I'm management and I'm telling you to leave. Go now. K, this is effing BS. I'm in here several times a week and I've never been kicked out. I'll never come back again. She slams her money down on the table then and gets right in my husband's face. I'll have your job for this a-hole, and that stupid bee behind you too. At this point I'm floored. She's never behaved like this before. She was always off though, so I wasn't totally shocked. I get that holidays can be rough for some, but don't try to ruin mine as well. H in a shockingly calm voice. After your behavior today, we don't want you back. Gather your things and exit the restaurant before I call the cops. You're no longer welcome in this establishment. She stood there, her mouth hanging open for a solid 30 seconds before she finally understood. K, you can't do that. I know the owner personally. She didn't. I'm gonna have both of you a-holes fired. This is unacceptable. I'd went to my area and grabbed my phone. I make sure I'm close enough for her to hear. Me, yes, this is the non-emergency police line, yes? I need a patron removed from our restaurant. No, there's no physical threat, but she's being verbally abusive and refusing to leave. K, screw this, I'm leaving. Just you wait. I'll have your jobs. She proceeds to storm out, accidentally knocking her teacup over with her purse as she leaves. We didn't get home until 6 p.m., but we managed to have a lovely evening. I felt somewhat bad for her because she was alone, but I was happy I'd never have to see her or her nasty toes. That's a whole different story again. That the regular customer's situation worsened to that extent is regrettable, particularly on Christmas Eve. She may have been lonely, which is understandable, but her actions toward the restaurant employees were totally unacceptable. In order to ensure that the restaurant's closing time was respected and that the staff could leave on time to go home to their families, your husband handled the situation with professionalism and firmness. It's admirable that he handled the situation appropriately and maintained his composure in the face of the customer's aggression. Prioritizing the comfort and well-being of the employees is also crucial, particularly during the holidays when everyone is excited to spend time with their loved ones. Nobody should have to put up with verbal abuse or harassment just to get by at work. Although it is regrettable that the customer behaved in such an antagonistic way, it's evident that her actions were inappropriate and justified the management's response. I'm hoping she'll think back on what she did and realize how her actions will affect other people. The second story is the downfall of a KFC store under new management. I used to work at KFC, and my previous manager was nice and running the store well. But because of certain situations, another manager, used to work there but had a long leave, came back and took over everything, and that's when things went downhill. I was the one employee that knew everything, and the old manager used to leave me alone as he knew that I'd always get everything done, but she was always on my back and unhappy with everything I did. Just saying I never did anything dodgy. I just used to do things in a different order and faster, which is what every manager liked about me. And she basically never rostered me and actually almost fired me because she didn't like me. Our store got an inspection before while I wasn't working, and the store failed and she was complaining about having SH employees. The store failed that much that the next week they came in for another one, which I happened to be working in, and then I basically ran the store. I told every employee what to do, checking times, making sure the quality of food was good and cleanliness of the store is up to par at least, which is what I always do. I didn't let the new manager do anything because I wanted to pass this inspection, and head office saw how good I am and offered me an assistant manager position for my performance, which I declined. The manager then saw how good I was and started to roster me for every shift every day, which was good back then because all I wanted was money. After a week or so, the manager started not doing any work and leaving me to do everything, setting everything up and making sure everything is fine, and stuff like that, which I didn't mind back then, but looking at it now, I was doing way too much work for her. It got even worse when she would start cutting workers off, so instead of 5 workers, 6 with the manager, during the day, it turned into 3, and she would continue to expect me to get everything done quickly even with the lower staff. She would even put me with trainees, which I had to train at the same time. It even got worse when she started making me work from 6 a.m. to 6 to 7 p.m., while clocking off at 4 to 5 p.m., so every day I would work a few hours free every day. Which again, because I didn't care about anything other than money, I didn't care. That's until it started getting to my head. Once I wasn't rostered to work for once, and the store was getting another inspection, so she literally drove to my house and actually woke my parents up at 5 a.m. saying she needs me to work, which I ended up doing. I was sick of it, and all my friends and family were saying why am I still working there and why haven't I said anything? And everyone who was working day shift was feeling the same way as me, so we all expressed to the manager that we weren't happy, and that we were looking for another job, but she didn't believe it and kept saying how this was our only job. She would also steal food from the store, like taking 60 chicken pieces and other stuff home after work without paying for it, and then arguing on why our wastage is so high. One day, all the day workers, we went to our work at night to hand in our resignation form, but we put down that we quit tomorrow, even though we're meant to give them 2 weeks advance. So the next morning, we just never walked up to work, and we all got spam called by our manager, but we never responded and never went back. I later called head office and explained to them why I just left out of nowhere. After working there for 4 years, it only took 1.5 years of working with the new manager to make me quit. I also told them about all the things she did, and how she treated me and stealing from the store. I heard from other workers that after my call to head office, they went to inspect her every day, and the pressure got her to leave. From what you said, it sounds like things were tough with the new manager at the KFC. The change in management made the store's operations and work environment so much worse, which is a shame. You're doing a great job of keeping the store up to standards and being willing to help out during inspections, even though things were tough. It's not okay that you were always overworked, not appreciated, and even had to deal with the manager stealing from the store. It's understandable that you and your coworkers finally had enough and decided to quit without giving the usual amount of notice, especially since the manager made the workplace unpleasant. You did the right thing by telling head office about the manager's behavior. It's important to hold managers responsible for their actions and make sure that everyone has a safe and fair place to work. It's too bad that it took your resignation to get things done, but maybe the pressure from the inspection and your report made the necessary management changes possible. The third story is, we're doctors and we don't like jokes. I work as a musician in a live music bar in a busy part of town. We have 2 mirrors on the stage that we like to put fun things on, and one of them has become my drink specials board. I use this to showcase what the players' names are and what they like to drink because customers like to buy the band drinks. I usually try to make it funny and silly too. Most people don't read it, but for those who do, it's a decent chuckle. So for example, the drink board might read, Drink Specials. The John, a pitcher of Fireball and a silly straw. The Jennifer, enough mango White Claw to kill a mountain lion. The Taylor, a margarita without the margarita mix, etc. I include everyone in the band that night. I'm not a big drinker, so for my own name one week in the middle of winter I wrote, The Complacent Violinist. First person to bring me a hot chocolate gets 5 free shots for their table. So the show starts. A few songs in, I get up to play for my first song. This woman in the front row comes up on stage and starts trying to grab me and talk in my ear. If we get you hot chocolate, you owe shots. Like literally pulling my hair as I'm about to play. I said, yeah, as I'm about to play. I'm kinda shaken because I hate strangers touching me, but also I didn't really expect anyone to take me up on the offer. The bouncer pulls her off stage. During my song, I watch her go to the bar and talk to one of our bartenders. The bartender shakes his head and she gets progressively angrier. She ends up moving on to the other bartender. When I get off stage, I go try to defuse the situation because I had a feeling it was my fault. I come up to her and say, "Ma'am, is there anything I can do for you?" She says, "You owe us shots," very accusingly. I said, "Oh, why?" She's yelling at this point, not just over the music, but like screaming. I don't like being lied to. Who lied to you, ma'am? You did. Oh, what did I say to you? You said you'd get us shots. Yes, if you get me a hot chocolate. Well, I tried to order it and they wouldn't give it to me. Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. We don't serve hot chocolate. She pauses. I continue. That drink specials board is really just to have some fun and list our players for the night. It's just supposed to be funny. Well, I don't like jokes. Oh, we're all doctors and we don't like jokes. I don't know what to say to that, so I say, would you like me to get the owner? Yes, I would. So I get the owner, and when he goes to talk to her, she just shakes her head and says, we don't have a problem. The owner shrugged and I shrugged and we all tried to move on with our lives. She and her table proceeded to ask me and the rest of the band for 2 more hours about the hot chocolate. She was peeving off everyone else in the band too, because she couldn't figure out how to request a song. She kept getting on stage uninvited and being rude to her server. She herself tried to get me to buy her shots again and again. At the end of the night, I gave her server some extra cash to make up for the problem that I probably caused, and her server said they wouldn't shut up about how they were doctors. Turns out they were all chiropractors and alternative medicine people. I will say that other people clearly understood that it was a joke. Someone even asked where in the area they could buy hot chocolate. I didn't end up getting a hot chocolate that cold night. Oh well. These alternative medicine enthusiasts seem in need of a little humor. I'll recommend a double dose of irony and laughter the next time. Who knew that hot chocolate could be so controversial? Well, at least someone else was curious about where to locate it. P.S. How the heck does someone grab a musician on stage and not get thrown off? Hit the like button to support the channel and subscribe. Have a good day.